Well, good evening, everybody. Hope Thursday evening is going well. We are at another game in the Demolition League, game number 9 of the total Demolition League out of 270. And this is the second game for both Toronto and Oakland. If we look at the first game they played, the opener, Oakland won it 3-1 as both Barrios and Sears pitched 7 innings of solid ball with a 1-1 tie, but then Richards gave up 2 runs in the 8th in just a third of an inning, and the A's managed to win it. So Richards and Meza both pitched in game 1. Ursedge and Miller also pitched in game 1, so I'm going to try to save them as a last resort and bring in the guys that didn't get to pitch at all to pitch in the next game. All right. First things first. I went ahead and did the ballpark effects, weather, whatever you want to call it, earlier for the Oakland Coliseum. Singles are 1 to 5 for lefties, 1 to 8 for righties. Home runs are 1 to 2 for both. Now we'll do pitcher injury checks to see what number will come up on these pitchers. For Chris Bassett of Toronto, we go to Toronto and look at Chris Bassett's card. He's a 1, so that means it's a 6-12 is what Bassett has to worry about. A 6-12 is what he's got to deal with. And for Spence, I've never heard of Mitch Spence before. Brand new name to me. He's a 1 also, so he's a 6-12. Hello, Chuck. So both pitchers are 6-12s on their injury potential. All right, got our Oakland A's colored dice, or at least the best I could come up with for Oakland A's colored dice. Tabby is right next to me on our little perch. Show her really quickly. She's right there. You can see Tabby right here. I'm petting her on the head right there. She's sitting right there with me. So very happy that in the last couple, I'd say the last 3 or 4 days or so, she's gotten comfortable being back in the spot she used to be on back when Gracie was around. We were the 3 amigos back then. And she's finally gotten to the point where she's comfortable coming back into this room and watching me roll the dice. So hopefully that's a good thing for Tabby and her mental well-being as well as mine. Mitch Spence for Oakland, 8-10, 4.58 ERA, 24 starts. He did relief a couple times, but he's mainly a starter. So Mitch Spence will get the call. There you see the lineups for both teams. I kind of did a toned down version of the souped up score sheets that I've been doing the last couple days. No team colors, no logos, just the straight facts. But still, it's a lot easier to read this than it is to read my handwriting. So I would hope that it comes out a lot better and looks a little cleaner. At least that's the hope. All right, so George Springer will step up to the plate and lead things off. Look at what he did in the first game. Springer in the first game had an inauspicious start. He struck out all 4 times. He's 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. So it's his first chance to get bat on ball here in game number 2. See if he can do that and run away. That is a 4-11 under Spence. That's a fly ball to left field. So at least he made contact, but he is out. And we're underway. Springer is retired. Here's Guerrero. Vladimir Guerrero, first baseman. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., technically. 2-5, and he's going to ground it to short to Nick Allen. And there's 2 away. That'll bring up Bo Bichette. See if Bo knows. 6-5. He knows how to fly to right field. So it's a 3 up, 3 down. How about that? We made it through a half an inning with no walks and no strikeouts and no home runs. So wouldn't even know it was 2024 season if I didn't tell you. All right, here's Chris Bassett from Toronto. 10-14, 4.16 ERA, 31 starts for the Blue Jays. He'll be facing first baseman Ryan Noda. Hello, Ken. Thank you, Ken. Like I said, it's better than my chicken scratch. It's better than, to me, in my opinion, it's better than the previous score sheet I had for this game with my chicken scratch on it. You can read this a whole lot better. Now, once I start filling in the score sheet, it's going to turn into chicken scratch, but at least you can read the lineups and the ratings a lot clearer. All right, here's Noda, but no logos, no colors, none of that stuff. 112, and that's going to be a hit by pitch plus injury. So Noda, very first, right off the bat, he is going to be susceptible to injury. And we're going to go to the injury chart for batters, and it's a 1-4. He will stay in the game. 5 or 6, he just misses this game. 7 or more, he could miss more time. So we'll see what the D20 has to say. That's a 3, so he's going to be okay. He's going to shake it off. So no injury for Noda. He will shake it off. Stay at first base, and here comes Zach Geloff. Nothing on the havoc. Bassett to Geloff. 3-11 against the right-hander. Ground ball third base A. That's a 5-4-3 around the horn. Double play. Pitcher's best friend. 2 quick outs. And that'll bring up J.J. Bleday, the center fielder. Hello, Alan. Good to see you. 2-10. And that's a ballpark single check. It's going to be a 1. He's a lefty, so it's a 1-5. That's an 11, so that's going to peel. He will pop it up to second base, and that's going to do it. So a hit by pitch, but nothing to show for it after the double play. We played 1 here in Oakland, and it's no score. So just the way the schedule worked out, all the West Coast teams got home games. So San Diego, LA, and Oakland all got home games. So game 10 to wrap up day 2 will be tomorrow, most likely. And that will be Kansas City at San Diego. All right, here is Justin Turner, designated hitter. It's a 2-6 for Turner, and he's going to draw a base on balls. As soon as I start talking about not being walks in the last inning, we get a walk. So Turner will walk, but he won't go anywhere. And here's Dalton Varsho, left fielder. 2-10, and that's a strikeout. So now we're getting the walks and the strikeouts. Okay. I must have jinxed it, I guess, somehow. Here's Alejandro Kirk, the catcher. .110, and that's going to be a pop out to second base. That's 2 down. And it's up to Kevin Kiermaier, center fielder. 6-5, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. Second strikeout for Spence. And the Blue Jays are taken care of. One good thing is it's only 1 game tonight, not a doubleheader. I started way too late to be thinking about a doubleheader. Plus, I was kind of tired after that second game anyway, so I think 1 game at 1 sitting is quite enough. All right, so Brent Rooker, the designated hitter, steps up for the A's. 6-6, and that's another strikeout. First one, however, for Bassett. And that'll bring up left fielder Seth Brown. 2-6, and that's a 1-10 home run. That's a 6. It is gone. Seth Brown. What can Brown do for Oakland? He can hit a home run. 2-6 is a 1-10 split. That's a 6. It's gone. Seth Brown. Home run for Brown. And the Oakland A's lead it 1-0. Here's J.D. Davis. 6'9", and he will ground it to short. It's a shortstop X, so we're looking at Bichette. 4E14. Not very good defensively. 4-3, that's definitely not going to help the cause. We'll check this out. 4 and whoops. How that the Blue Jay just flew in there out of the blue there, didn't he? All right, so we're looking for a shortstop. 4 and a 14, but it's a 3, so that's going to be the killer. 4 and a 3 is a single. That is an 11. E14 at shortstop. There is no 11, so it'll just be a single for J.D. Davis. He will not be held as he does not run well. And that brings up the catcher, Shea Langoliers. He had the game off in game 1. They used McCann in game 1. So Langoliers, who's more of their starting catcher, is going to start this ball game. 5-9, and he's going to strike out. Second strikeout for Bassett. Langoliers is retired. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Lawrence Butler. Lawrence Butler. Hello, Sean. Good to see you. I'm happy for that, Sean. I'm enjoying them, so I'm glad you are too. And I wasn't sure how people would take to the 2024 season because a lot of people say they don't like the modern season. They want to watch the older stuff, but a lot of, not a lot of people, but many other people were streaming the older stuff, and I didn't see anybody streaming the new stuff. So I thought I'd try to be different and try to learn the modern game as well. 6'11", but it's a 6'12" for the injuries chances, so no injury chance here. 6'11", Lawrence Butler is a lefty. It's ground ball pitcher X. He is a 3E8. Is Bassett 3E8. 3 and a 9 should be okay. Take nothing for granted though. Let's look it up. 3-9. 3-9 is a G3. That's a total of 11, and he is an E8. There's no 11. There's an 11 on an E10, but not on an E8. So he'll make the play, and the inning's over. But the run comes in on the Seth Brown homer. We go to the third. It is Oakland 1, Toronto nothing. Toronto lost game 1 to the A's by the score of 3-1. So they don't want to start out 0-2 if they can avoid it. They will bring up Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Hello, Ernest. Good to see you. Oh, they did. John Birdie. They DFA'd him, huh? Okay. Well, that's not surprising. 1-6 to Kiner-Falefa. He pops it up to short. And that's one away. Brings up Kevin Biggio, the second baseman. 3-8 for Biggio. He is hit by the pitch. That is, you wonder if that's a retaliation for the hit by pitch on Noda. Don't think so, but could be coincidental. We shall see. Umpires kind of giving a look at both benches, saying we're not going to have any of that shenanigans around here. So here's Springer. 6'10", again, 6'12" is the injury check. 6'10", ground ball shortstop X. That's Allen. He's a 1E36, so a chance for a double play to get out of the inning. 1 and a 6 is definitely a good chance. Checking the error rating now. 1 and a 6 is a G1, and that's an 11, and he's an E36. That's a high error rating. E36, there's no 11. There's a 13, 15, 17, and 16, but no 11. So it will be a 6-4-3 double play. And that will end the inning. Pitcher's best friend right there. So I've never heard of Mitch Spence before, but he's doing well so far. 3 innings of pitching, allowing nothing. So Chris Bassett, and I still have the 87 replay. That hasn't gone anywhere. It's just that this one's getting more priority because it's more of a timing factor, where the 87 doesn't have that timing factor. Because I'm trying to get this done before February. And I got 261 games to go, so it's going to take a while. All right, here, even playing 2 a day is going to take a while. Chris Bassett. I might have to start playing more than 2 a day, but just play a couple of them offline. Once I play a couple of them offline, I'm doing the streaming on the first 10 games so everybody can see both teams or all 5 teams play a couple games. When I get to, the fourth, the next series or whatever, I'll just pick one game, or maybe just randomly pick 1 or 2 games I think look decent, and then I'll play the other ones offline just to try to help speed things up. And here's Nick Allen. That's a 5'8". He's a righty, and Bassett's a righty. 5'8's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Biggio. He's a 3E14. 3 and a 14, he'll get to that. That's a 6. And he is an E14 second baseman. There is no 6. So Biggio will make the play. 1 away. And that flips the order over to Noda. He was hit by a pitch and was injured, but stayed in the game. Toughed it out. 1-10, and that's a foul out to Kirk behind the plate. 2 down. Noda may still not be 100%, but he did stay in the game. And here's Zach Geloff. And I realize this is not the sexiest matchup of the Demolition League right here. 2 teams that maybe aren't the most popular. Let's see, 2-8, but you can still have a good game with them. 2-8, 1-8 is a double. That's a 2. So Zach Geloff, a 2-out double. And that'll bring up J.J. Bleday. Clutch situation for Bleday. In the clutch, he loses a hit on 1-6 and on 2-12 and on 2-2. To 1-7 until he just missed that clutch reversal, but he got a ground ball to second, which doesn't help the cause either. And that will end the inning. So how about that? 3 innings in the book since 1-0. Hopefully we have a close game. Hello, Frank. Hello, Mr. Guterman. Good to see you. Hopefully we have a close game. The one this morning got kind of out of hand early. So we're hoping that this one is going to be better. We would hope. But the Dodgers put it on the Cubs early and never looked back. So hoping this one goes nip and tuck all the way. Here's Guerrero. 4-7. That's a fly ball to center. That's hauled in out there by Bleday, and that's one away. Here's Bo Bichette. Of course, the son of former California Angel and Colorado Rocky Dante Bichette. That's a 1-2, and that's a split chance. 1-3 is a single. That's a 7. He will line it to short, and Nick Allen is there. Hello, Alex. Good to see you. I saw that, Jeff. I saw the posting for 6 in the morning. I may catch the end of it. I probably won't be getting up until about 7:30. So I might try to catch the end of that for you. Wow, 12 in a row. Cool. Good deal. Hello, D. Scott. Good to see you. All right, so here's Justin Turner. 2-3. He's going to ground to third. And that will end the inning. So this guy, Mitch Spence, I've never heard of for Oakland. He was 8-10 with a 4.58 ERA, but he's pitching very well for himself right now through 4 innings. He's holding a 1-0 lead on the Blue Jays. Only run of the game was a Seth Brown home run back in the 2nd inning. It's going to be Rooker, Brown, and Davis due up for the A's. Hello, Bart. Good to see you. 1-7, and that's a 1-2 triple. Anything else will be a single, and the double dies a 2. What do you know? Brent Rooker with a triple. He hit 2 triples on the season. He gets one right here in game number 2. Whoops, wrong side down here. Triple. Let me get my correction tape out because I'm always making a mistake somewhere, it seems. So let's get rid of this if I can. If I get this tape to not mess up on me. Sometimes it gets off the rails here. This correction tape, it's cheap. May not be able to fix this. Might have to go get my whiteout later because I think this tape is about had it. It's misfed and I don't know how to get it to feed back in properly. I'm trying to get it in there, but it just ain't happening. It's a mess, so I'll just leave it the way it is. I got a whole bottle of whiteout I haven't even opened yet, so I'll start bringing that upstairs because that correction tape just does not do it for me. All right. Oh, hello, Robert. Good to see you. All right, so the infield is going to be in after the triple by Rooker. So Bassett to Seth Brown, who homered his first time up. Bassett, former Met. 5-5, left-handed, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-14. It's gone. Seth Brown's going to do it again. What can Brown do for Oakland? He can hit another home run. Look at it again. 5-5, left-handed is an in-home run chance, 1-14, and that's an 11. And, of course, he has normal power. So, home run, second home run in as many at-bats in this game for Seth Brown. He came to play, and the Athletics, or A's, whatever you want to call them, lead 3-0. Seth Brown has all 3 runs batted in. And here comes J.D. Davis, another former Met. 5-10 is a catcher X. That's Alejandro Kirk. He's a 2E9. 2-16. No problem. Should be a pop out of some sort. 2-16. Actually, yeah, it's a foul out. And that's a 10, and he's an E9. There's no 10 there, so it's a foul out to Kirk by J.D. Davis for out number 1. And that'll send up Shea Langoliers, the catcher. That's a 3-7, and that's, oh, he just missed a home run. 3-7 is a ground ball to short. 3-6 would have been a solid home run, but just missed it. Hello, Colin. Good to see you. Hello, Bill. Thank you very much. I'm enjoying the 24th season as well. I'm still learning the players. I've learned some of them, but I got a long way to go. All right, here is Lawrence Butler. 3-9, and that's a strikeout. So strikeout number 3 for Bassett, but a 2-run home run from Seth Brown. He's got 2 of them in the game. He's 2 for 2 with 2 homers and 3 runs batted in, making an early case for player of the game. And at the end of 4, it is 3-0 Oakland. Spence back out. His fatigue is a 5. And my rule is no matter what's going on, 6 innings is the max because it's their first start and they're not stretched out yet. So both these starters have fatigues of 5. So 6 is the max I'm going to allow no matter what. All right, here's Varsho. 1-7 for Varsho. 1-5 is a single. That's a 12. It'll be a line out to second. So line out to second for 1 away as Varsho is retired. Here's Alejandro Kirk. Whoa, we got hop and dice. Let's re-roll that. 2-6 for Kirk, and he's going to draw a base on balls. Second walk issued by Spence. He's also hit a batter. And here's Kevin Kiermaier. Kirk, no threat to run. Kiermaier. 4-9. That's a fly ball to left. And that's handled by Brown. He's doing everything else. Why not catch that too? 2 down for former Yankee Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. I remember him from the Yankees a few years back. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. 5-8, and that's a ground ball second base. We're looking at Geloff. He's a 2E8. 2E8. And he's not holding the runner Kirk on, so he's going to keep that number 2. It keeps his full range. Oh, we got hop and dice again. Boy, these things are just hopping like jumping beans. 2 and a 10. Should be no problem for Mr. Geloff. 2 and a 10 is a G1, and he's an E8, and that is an 8. 8 and an 8, and no error there. No 8 there, so no error there, and that's going to do it to end the inning. He only walked a batter, so he keeps a bit of endurance. He will be able to pitch the 6th. No problems. Here is Chris Bassett. Thank you for the kind words, Jeffrey. I'm not sure they're deserved, but I appreciate them. All right, Alex, good to know. And I would use that later in the season, but my own personal house rule is when they get their first start of the season, they're coming out of spring training. They're not stretched yet, so I'm limiting them to 6 innings regardless. All right, here's Nick Allen. 5-6, Nick Allen against Bassett. A 5-6. It's a fly to right. But that's good information to know. I knew about the +2 from the fatigue. I did not know the older seasons had +8. But I knew about the +2 part. All right, here's Ryan Noda. He has been hit by a pitch, injured, but stayed in the game and fouled out to the catcher. 5-4, and that's a ballpark blast, but it's only a 1-2, and that's a 5, so just a deep fly to right. Oakland Coliseum's not going to get you too many home runs, as it is a pitcher's park all the way. And 2 down for Zach Geloff. He's hit into a double play, and he's doubled. 3-5, and that's going to be a 1-9 single, but that's a 17. He's going to ground it to first. Since it's a C, go back to our old standard house rule. When it's a ground ball C to first, counted as a 3-1 put out. So Guerrero will flip to Bassett covering, and the inning is over. So we go to the 6th. It's still 3-0 Oakland. They won the first game 3-1. They're looking to try to do the same thing again and start out 2-0, unbelievably. Do it for the Jays. It'll be Kevin Biggio, George Springer, and Pedro Guerrero. 5-8, and that is a ground ball second base X. We're back to Geloff again, a 2E8 for Geloff. 2 and 19, he'll get to that. E8, and that's a 14. E8, and there's no 14 there, so Geloff will make the play. And Biggio is retired. Back to the top of the order for Springer. Flew to left and hit into a double play. First time up. Hello, Mr. Time Machine. Oh, no problem, Alex. No problem. I'm not quite at the nerd level on that, but I do try to do my best at keeping track of everything. All right, here is Mr. Springer. 5-11. That's a fly ball left field X. And that's Seth Brown, 3E5. He's hit 2 home runs. Can he make the play defensively on a 3E5? 3 and a 4, that's trouble. 3 and a 4 does not look good. Let's look at the chart. 3 and the devil die is struck. 3 and a 4 is a single. That's a 10. I don't think he makes an error. E5 and a 10. So it will be a single for George Springer. And there goes the no-hitter. No-hitter through 5 1/3 for Spence, but that's the first hit he is allowed. Unless you count the hit by pitch, that would be a 2-hitter. Then you take the hit by pitch plus the single. That's a 2-hitter. But Springer's aboard. He can steal with the 5 or get a lead with the 5. And he does not get the lead, so he will hold. And here is Vladdy. 4-9 for Vladimir Guerrero. It's a ground ball to third, B, fielder's choice. Go to short way to second for the force. Vladdy, the new runner at first base, 2 down for Bo Bichette. Spence trying to end this thing in style, end his outing in style, because he'll be capped at 6 innings. 2-6 for Bichette. That's a single. That's the second base hit he's given up in this inning. So he's one batter away from being fatigued. So the Oakland bullpen is active. And we'll look at who they have. The guys they use 2 pitchers in the first game, Mason and Iserge, but they have these guys that need to pitch that have not pitched yet. They have right-hander Austin Adams. They have right-hander Tyler Ferguson and right-hander Hogan Harris, and then lefties TJ McFarland and Kyle Muller. So those are the guys, the first options out of the bullpen for Oakland. I'll save the 2 guys that pitched last night as a last resort, because once you pitch them, then that means they're ineligible for game 3 because you can't pitch more than 2 times in a row. So Justin Turner is up first and second. It's actually a clutch situation. And in the clutch for Turner, he loses a hit on 3-3. That's his only difference. 4-8, and that's a trouble. One is a single, one's a triple, single 2-20. That's a single 2 stars, and that might be it for Spence. He is now fatigued. So I think we've got the most out of Spence we're going to get. But the Oakland crowd gives him a fine outing, or fine round of applause as he leaves. He will end up going 5 2/3 innings. He's going to give up just the 3 hits all this inning. So far, 1 run, but these 2 are his responsibility. He can win it, but he can't lose it. And let's see, walks and strikeouts. He walked 2. And he didn't strike out many. He struck out 1. The only guy he struck out was Varsho. That was it. So now, with the left-hander Varsho coming up, the A's will go to their bullpen for a left-hander. And which left-hander will they use? Will they use McFarland or will they use Muller? Who had the most appearances and who has the best ERA and all that stuff? I'm looking at both of those things. McFarland leads on both. He pitched more innings and he had a better ERA. So we'll go with TJ McFarland. He's been around a while. I recognize that name. So TJ McFarland is on. Let me get his injury numbers. Injury roll check. Go to our roster again for Oakland. TJ McFarland is a 0, so he cannot be injured. So don't worry about injuries with McFarland. He cannot be injured. He's a +3, and Langolier is a -2, so it's a +1. on the hold. So Gary Varsho, lefty on lefty against TJ McFarland. Hello, world's worst. Hello, Thomas. Oh, I plan to, Thomas. I plan to. I'm going to be on 2024 overload. People are going to think I've forgotten the 87 replay, which I have not. But this one takes priority right now. All right, so Varsho, 4-8, and that's a strikeout. McFarland comes in and does the job, strikes out Varsho, gets out of the jam, and we can close the book on Spence, just the 1 run. So Spence can get the win now. He's in line to do so. Chris Bassett will come out. He gave up nothing in his point of weakness inning, so he's got full endurance. He will pitch the 6th. He's going to start out facing Blade. 6'4", left-handed. It's a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Kiermaier. He's a 1, so you know he's going to get to it. We're just looking at the E8. E8 and a 12 shouldn't be a problem, I wouldn't think. E8 and there is no 12, so good play for Kiermaier. Blade is out of there, and here's DH Brent Rooker. He tripled his last time up. 6'11". Bassett, remember his injury is 6'12". 6'11" is a ground ball pitcher X. He is a 3 E8. 3 and an E8. 3 and a 9, even for a pitcher, should be okay, I would think. 3 and a 9 for a pitcher. G3. That's an 11, and he's an E8. E8 and 11 is not there, so he makes the play. 2 down, but now he's got to deal with Seth Brown. Brown has taken him deep twice. Solo shot in the 2nd, 2-run shot in the 4th. I guess Strat doesn't have a pitch around function, so we can't do that. Don't have to pitch to him. 5-2. Boy, 5-3 would have been a blast, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway with ballpark being what it is. But this is a ground ball second base X to Biggio. 3 E14. 3-20, he'll get to that. E14 for a second baseman, and that's an 8. E14, there is no 8, so it's a good play for Biggio, and that'll do it for Bassett. He will go 6 innings, and if it wasn't for Seth Brown, he'd be pitching a shutout probably. But he gave up 3 runs. Total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. He did not walk anybody, but he did hit a batter. And he only struck out 3, so we've had low strikeouts in this game. We played 6 innings, so 12 innings combined for the 2 teams, and we've had 4 strikeouts. Is this really 2024? You would think you'd have more strikeouts than that. All right, so Bassett is done. We'll figure out who the new pitcher for Toronto is in the bottom of the inning. Right now, McFarland only faced 1 batter, so he's obviously not tired. He will come out and pitch the 7th inning as well. He will face Alejandro Kirk, Kevin Kiermaier, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. That's correct. He's not obligated to go 3 batters because he finished an inning. But I want to save the bullpen, and since he got a strikeout, I'm going to let him keep going. But yes, he is not required to keep pitching because that end of the inning, that's how they get away. That's how they get around that lefty specialist. You let your lefty specialist get the final out of an inning, then he doesn't have to face any right-handers. He faces left-hander and get the heck out of Dodge. So here's Kirk, 5. Oh, I got to do McFarland. Did I ever do McFarland? Oh, he can't be injured. That's right. I did his already. 5-10. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Allen. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. It's just E36 might be an issue. But that's a 10. You don't get many errors on 10s. E36, and there's no 10 here either. So good play for Nick Allen as he retires a slow-running Kirk. And here's Kevin Kiermaier, lefty on lefty. We are in the 7th inning, so Toronto is going to be going to the bench to replace Kiermaier. They need offense. You're going to lose his defense in center field, but they got to have some bats. So looking at the right-handers they have on the bench, they have Ernie Clement. They have Davis Schneider. He's a 191 hitter. Clement's 263, and the backup catcher Jansen's 205. So the leader in the clubhouse to me is Ernie Clement. So Ernie Clement is going to pinch hit for Kevin Kiermaier. And let's see, he can't play center field. He can play left field, but not very well. So they'll bring in another outfielder. Who would they get to play center field is the question. They would have to probably move Varsho over, or Springer, one of the two. Let me see on their bench. Springer can play center, but he's a 4. Varsho can play center. He's a 3. So they're going to move Varsho to center field. All right, so what they're going to do here, Varsho will move to center. And the new left fielder will be, well, it won't be Clement because he's not very good. They'll bring in Davis Schneider to play left field. So let's get this rolling here. Clement is the pinch hitter in the 7th. Schneider will take over in left field in the bottom of the 7th. Right there. And then Varsho will move from left field to center field to cover up for Kiermaier. So it's going to be Clement stepping to the plate in a pinch hitting capacity. Clement, a .263 average and a right-handed hitter, so that's why he's in there. And then Schneider will take over in left field once the inning's over. McFarland, 5-9, and that is a ground ball to short. That will be out number 2. So Clement is done, and Davis Schneider will now move to left field. He's a 3-0 E4. But right now it's Isaiah Kainafalefa, third baseman. 4-5, and that's a ground ball to short again. So all 3 ground outs handled by Nick Allen with no problem. And it is a 3-1 ball game as we go to the 7th inning stretch. Tabby's on her blanket, just giving herself a bath. I'm going to eschew the take me out to the ball game this time and just keep it rolling because I don't want to get any later than it already is. So we want to keep things going here. Blue Jays in their previous game, in the first game of the series, in their bullpen, use Richards for a third and Meza for 2/3. So really everybody is available, but I'm going to leave Richards and Meza out for the last before I use anybody else. I will use other people before I use them. So we got Chad Green, a righty, Nate Pearson, a righty, Eric Swanson, a righty, and Zach Pop, a righty, and one lefty, Genesis Cabrera. So due up for the A's, we got right, left. So since I like his name, we're going to go with Zach Pop. I just like the name. So 2-4 and a 5.59 ERA with a save. Zach Pop. We'll check Zach Pop's injury status. Toronto. Zach Pop for Toronto is a 1, which means he's a 6-12. So 6-12 is the injury check for Zach Pop. Pop is a 0 hold. Kirk's a -2, so he's a -2. All right, so it's J.D. Davis, Langoliers, and Butler due up for the A's here in the bottom of the 7th of a 3-1 ball game. 3-9 for J.D. Davis, and he's going to ground it to second for Biggio, and there's one away. And as we start getting more toward the edge, if I start rolling on the 6 for the pitcher or the 3 for the batter, I'll slide the card over so that you don't miss anything. So you can see all the cards, but I don't want to cover up the score sheet entirely either. So I'll try to make that as a compromise, I guess. All right, due up now is Shea Langoliers. Langoliers is 0 for 2. 2-8 for Langoliers against the right-hander. Is going to strike out. 2 down, and that brings up Lawrence Butler, a lefty. Butler 0 for 2 with a K. 3-5, and we'll slide it over on the column 3. 3-5, a 1-7 home run. That's a 3. It's gone. Look at it again. 3-5 for Lawrence Butler. A home run 1-7, double 8-20, and the double die is a 3. It's gone. Butler took that pitch and popped it out of here on Zach Pop. It's now 4-1 Oakland. And Nick Allen is your batter. 4-7, and that is a 1-2 single. That's a 2. Double die comes up low again. How do you like that? Double die has a way of doing that. No matter what, I don't care if I use a black one, a blue one, a white one, a green one, red one. It doesn't matter. They're all evil. So here is Noda. That's a 4-6, and that's an in-home run chance on a 1. Anything else is a 2-20 double. That'll be a double for Noda. And let's see if Allen, he's a 14. Was he being held? No, he wasn't. So that makes him a 15. 2 outs is a 17. The double is assumed to go to center field. Center fielder is now Varsho, a -3 arms. So that'd drop it down to a 14. So 1-14, they're going to send Nick Allen to try to score. 1-14, and of course they're going to throw through. And he's in there, and that means Noda. But Noda's going to stay at second base. My personal rule is you got to be in the teens. If your run rating is not in the teens, you don't take the extra base on the overthrow. I'm not just going to give that to you carte blanche. You got to be a decent runner to do that. So Noda RBI double now makes it 5-1, and that's going to be all for Pop. Pop got popped. He faced 5 batters, but probably faced 2 too many. He gives up 3 hits and 3 runs. I'm sorry, 2 runs, but he's responsible for Noda. He does go 2/3 of an inning. Does strike 1 out and doesn't walk anybody. And now the Blue Jays going back to the bullpen. And they will get Nate Pearson to try to finish out the inning. Nate Pearson. I won't worry about his injury unless I roll a high 6. 6-8 or more, then I'll check it. Otherwise, I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so here's Zach Geloff. A's looking to go 2-0 at the Blue Jays' expense. 6-4, so we bring Pearson over here, the right-hander. 6-4, fly ball center field X. So we're looking at Varsho. He's a 1. You know he's going to get it. Now we're looking at an E3. Well, let me check and make sure he might drop to a 2 moving to center field. So let's take a look here and just double check this. No, he's a 1 in center field. Okay, interesting. 1 in center and in left. So we know he's going to get to it. Now we're just checking the E3. And that's a 9. E3 and a 9 for a center fielder. I don't think it's a problem. It is not. So it is caught to end the inning. But it is now 5-1. And Pearson may hang around, or they may, you know what, they're going to use somebody else because they want to get all these pitchers, they want to get some work in. So let's see, Blade, Rooker, and Brown. They're going to go to Genesis Cabrera, the lefty, will come in the 8th inning because the A's have some lefties coming up. So Genesis Cabrera. And the Blue Jays are hyping that Genesis Cabrera has that invisible touch, but I don't know about that. We'll have to wait and find out. Right now, McFarland is done. He went an inning and a third. So he's done. And he gave up nothing with a strikeout. So he certainly did the job that he was called to do. And now the A's will go to their bullpen once again. And they will go to right-hander Tyler Ferguson. Ferguson was 4-2 with a 3.68 ERA and 2 saves. So Tyler Ferguson is going to come on. He is a -4 hold, so that's a total of -5. Not that the Blue Jays are going to run down by so many, but you never know. 5-1. Here comes Kevin Biggio. That's a 4-10. Biggio's a lefty. That's a ground ball to second. And easy play for Geloff. One down, and here comes George Springer. 2-3 for Springer. That's a ballpark blast, but it's only a 2, and that's a 5. So just allowed out to left field for out number 2, and here comes Vlad Jr. 2-7 for Vlad, and he grounds it to short. That's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Ferguson. He goes 1 inning, gives up nothing. He did his job. It won't be a save situation in the 9th, so just find somebody to pitch. Anybody, just a warm body. And now Genesis Cabrera, his record 3-3 with a 3.59 earned run average and 2 saves. He'll be facing J.J. Bleday, Rooker, and Seth Brown. It's a 3-7 for Bleday against the lefty. Struck him out. 1 away, and here's Brent Rooker. 5-8 to the righty. It's a ground ball to short, and Bichette will handle it. 2 down. Here's Seth Brown, lefty on lefty. His 2 home runs came against the righty. See if he can, I don't need that. See if he can find something against the lefty. 3-7, he does not. He finds a strikeout. So Genesis Cabrera did have that invisible touch. He went 1 inning, gave up nothing, and struck out 2. So we go to the 9th, 5-1 ball game. A's won the first game 3-1. They're looking to win this one 5-1. And the A's will bring in a new pitcher to finish things out. And who might that be? They're going to go to Austin Adams. Austin Adams, 1-2, 3.92 ERA, but no saves. Of course, this is not a save situation. So Austin Adams is on. He's a +2. -2 from Langoliers makes that a 0. But again, I don't think Toronto's running anywhere. And it's going to be Bichette, Turner, and Varsho for the Blue Jays here in the top of the 9th. It's a 2-4, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-8, that's a 15, so he will ground it to third. 1 away. Oakland looking to go 2-0. They would join Minnesota in first place at 2-0. Most other teams are 1-1. It would send Miami and Toronto to the cellar at 0-2. 6-10. Let's see if that's the injury check for Austin Adams. It's probably in the extra players. I've got a funny feeling. Let's check the pitcher side. Yep, Austin Adams. It shows here he has, no, it's J. Adam, not Adams. Maybe he's in the Oakland. Maybe he was on the Oakland team roster originally. Let's see here. Yeah, he sure was. He's a 4. All right, so a 4, if we look at the chart, a 4 is a 6-9. That's a 6-10, so he just avoided it. But so 6-9 is his error chance, not 6-10. So he avoids the error. 6-10 to Justin Turner. Let's bring Austin Adams' card over. 6-10 is a strikeout. So Austin Adams puts the whiff on Justin Turner, and down to the last at bat will be Dalton Varsho. Varsho 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. That's a 4-7, and that is a base on balls. So no, we couldn't finish the game without an extra base on balls around there somewhere. Varsho's not thinking about running when they're down 5-1, so he won't be held. He won't be going anywhere. Here's the catcher, Kirk. 5-9, and that is an in-home run chance for Kirk on a 1-2, but that's a 16, so it'll be a double. It'll be a double, so maybe Adams thought he was going to get out here scot-free, and all of a sudden things are happening. So Varsho not being held. He runs at a 15, not being held is a 16. 2 outs makes him an 18. Went to center field. Bleday is a -2, back to a 16. But you're down 5-1. Do you take the chance that you're going to get a 17 through? Well, you know what? If they throw him out, good for them. He's in there. Okay. RBI double for Alejandro Kirk, and he's one of the slowest runners in the league, so no way in hell he's taking third base on that throw. So it's a RBI double for Alejandro Kirk. I don't care what the rules say. That's my rule. You run that slow, you're not going anywhere. All right, so here is Davis Schneider. This is his first at bat since coming in as a defensive replacement. Adams, that's a 2. He's one batter away from getting fatigued. That's a balk chance. Adams' balk is a 0, though, so no balk. That's a 3-4 for Davis Schneider. And that's a ballpark single check. It's 1-8. That's a 16. He fouls out to the catcher, Langoliers, and that's the ball game. Toronto gets a run in the 9th off of Austin Adams, but that's all they get. And the A's improved to 2-0 with a 5-2 victory over the Toronto Blue Jays, who have to feel like when they saw the schedule, they had to figure, oh, we're going to Oakland. We can pick up some wins. Well, that's not happening. So let's see, were there any errors in the game? I don't recall any errors in the game. So for Oakland, 5 runs on 8 hits, no errors. For Toronto, 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. The winner is Spence. He is 1-0. The loser is Bassett. He is 0-1. And, of course, no saves of any kind. Home runs in the game, Brown is first and is second, and Butler his first. So player of the game, I'd like to give it to Spence, but he kind of faded at the end. So I'm giving it to Brown. 2 home runs and 3 ribbies. I think that's more than enough to give him the player of the game. Seth Brown. What can Brown do for you? Well, Brown just did it for Oakland. In the 2024 season for Seth Brown, if I can get this, I'll take this light off. Maybe that'll help. Seth Brown, if I can hold the thing steady, 231, 14 homers for Seth Brown. That's what he did. So he is the player of the game, Seth Brown. A's go to 2-0, Toronto to 0-2. And the final game of the series will be tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning, maybe around 8:30, 9 o'clock, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it will be it will be Kansas City and San Diego from Petco Park. And I've already got the score sheet on the flip side. It's the beauty about these score sheets is they're two-sided. So all you have to do is flip them over and you're ready for the next game. And that next game is Kansas City and San Diego. It's Dylan Cease for the Padres against Seth Lugo for the Royals. That will be tomorrow. And that will finish out day 2 of the Demolition League. And we'll be 10 games in with 260 games to go. Seems daunting, but you never know. We get on a roll, you can start knocking off some of these games. And got to put this one in the Strat computer so we can get the stats accumulated and whatnot. No injuries to report, so that's a good thing. And McFarland's really the only guy I want to hold out on Game 3 because he went an inning and a third. These guys will be at the back end. Same with the guys. There's enough pitchers there that you can rotate them where a pitcher should not be pitching more than 2 days in a row. So that shouldn't be a problem. But I do want to honor that rule. So I want to keep track of that. So I do want to thank everybody who spent part of your Thursday night with me, kept me company during this ball game. And it's always a more fun experience when there's interaction involved. I know I don't keep up with the chat maybe as good as I should, but sometimes I get playing in the game and I get focused on the game and I forget to look over there. So if you put something in there and I didn't respond to it right away or if I overlooked it completely, apologies in advance because I may not have been concentrating in that direction. I may have been just concentrating on the game. I have enough trouble playing the game. I want to make sure I get the game right. Let's see here. Alrighty, there we go. All right, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off in the next day or two, but I am working on a radio broadcast for the 1976 game between the Boston Red Sox and the California Angels from California. Louis Tiant against Nolan Ryan, and that will be a radio-only broadcast. The only thing you'll see is a photograph of Anaheim Stadium, and I would give the radio play-by-play call while I play Strat. And that's what I'm working on. I did a lot of background on it to get my information on the teams and stats and whatnot. So, and it has to be recorded. There's not no way I can do something like that live stream. It has to be recorded in advance, or I said, there's no way, because you're listening to something on the radio. The radio guy is not going to be chatting with somebody else, so it just wouldn't be realistic. So, may try to record that tomorrow so that it's ready for Saturday, but most likely I'll record it later in the week, earlier next week, and have it ready for Friday or Saturday, because I want to post it about 10 o'clock in the evening, to kind of simulate staying up late on the East Coast for West Coast games. So that's my thought anyway. I don't know if how it'll come over, but I thought I'd try it just for the heck of it. Jeffrey Guterman gave me that idea as he's doing his little radio broadcast. But he's not really doing a radio broadcast. He's playing Strat, but we just don't see anything. But I'm going to do it as if you wouldn't know I was playing Strat, because I'm not going to be saying Strat. I'm not going to be using Strat-O-Matic terms. I'm going to be broadcasting it like it was an actual game. So I'll be filling in pitch by pitch based on what the role is. I'll try to manufacture a pitch by pitch that fits that model, and then hopefully that will suffice, and we shall see. But hopefully it'll take you back to 1976, if you remember 1976, and hopefully it'll bring back memories of staying up late to listen to your favorite team on the West Coast. So we'll see how it turns out. Like I said, it might bust. I have no idea. That's one thing about recording it, is if I don't like it, I can delete it and try it again. So if I do post it, it'll be because it's something that I feel comfortable posting. The other thing I'd be careful of is from YouTube perspective is strikes, or what do they call those things? Infringements or copyrights, or whatever they call those things. Got to make sure I got to be careful not to have those. So we shall see how that goes. But yeah, 1976, I was 11 years old, so I definitely did not have any driver's license other than a bicycle. But I was in sixth grade. I think it was sixth grade. Yeah, I think it was sixth grade. And I was 11 years old. So I had just started collecting baseball cards. Actually, I wish I'd started in 76. I really started in 77. And 76 cards are much more valuable. 77 was kind of a bust set. So I kind of got it in between. 78 was a great set. Unfortunately, I didn't know anything about, PSA 10s or, sharp corners or whatever. I'd get my baseball cards and write on them and all kinds of stuff. So I'm sure I had a couple Eddie Murray rookie cards that are probably a PSA 1 if I submitted them right now. So not very good. But, when you're a kid, what do you know? You're not into that stuff. So it's the way it is. Just like guys back in the 50s and 60s would put the cards in the spokes of their bicycle. And same thing. So I never did that, but I did write on them because I had a little card game, a little baseball card game that I bought. And you make your own teams and lineups and stuff. But I use baseball cards to be my teams and my lineups. And I would write on the back every time they had a home run. I'd tabulate their home runs. So on the back of those 78 tops, I'd have home runs on there and pencil erasers and everything. So first place Strat, my first real go at it was my first video too, I think. One of my first videos. It was in 2015 with the 2014 set. I actually did a video. It's horrible because my equipment was horrible. But I did play I think it was game 1 of the World Series between the Giants and the Royals. And I played the first 3 innings in basic, the second 3 innings in advanced, and the last 3 innings in super advanced. But the camera work and everything that I had back then, my old phone, was just terrible. So I'm kind of, I really try to avoid going back that far. It's really interesting that I've been doing this for about 10 years now. But once in a while, I get a comment on a video that's like 8 years old. And somebody asks me why I did something during the game. And I'm like, that was 8 years ago. Why the hell do I know that? Or they'll, go back to something where the quality was not very good and say something about that. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do? All right. So anyway, like I said, thank you all for spending part of your Thursday night with me. Jeffrey Guterman's channel, Strat-O-Matic. He was in here earlier. I think he's signed off and went to bed by now, but he was in there earlier. If you scroll up in the chat, you'll see him, Strat-O-Matic Network. That's Jeff Guterman. On that channel tomorrow morning, if you're an early riser, 6 a.m., he'll be doing a 1962 Strat-O-Matic game as part of his 1962 replay. But tomorrow morning around 8:30ish or so, between 8:30 and 9, I'll be doing the last game, game number 10, last game of the second day of this season, and it'll be San Diego hosting Kansas City. So, yeah, Frank, I learned about a PDF. It's called PDF Gear. It's a free PDF file program. Doesn't cost a thing. I downloaded it. It's safe. I downloaded it and I use it. It's called PDF Gear. You can Google it, or you can watch a YouTube video on it. And the guy has a link to it or whatever. It's called PDF Gear, and all you do is you take the original blank PDF that I had here, put it in PDF Gear, hit the edit button, and you can edit text, add text, whatever you want to do. So, of course, all I have to do is add the text, and all I do is go in and I think I had the font too big. I had like 16 for these letters, and the players were kind of getting up into the line, so I reduced it to 14. I think it looks a lot cleaner that way. But it's just something I was playing with. So, and if I know what I'm doing, if I'm not going to be doing this all the time, I'm going to do it for the first couple of games where I use the actual lineups. So once I start making my own lineups, I'm going to make them as I get ready to start the game. So it's going to be on the fly. So I'll be writing those in. But at least, the first couple games, I have it where it's typed and you can see it and not read my chicken scratch. So thank you all for spending part of your Thursday evening with me and following along on this journey that we just got started on. 270 games. We've got 261 to go. And my goal was to be finished by the time the 2025 Strat cards come out. Might be a hefty goal, but I'm going to try for it. At least by the end of February, I'd like to be finished so that I could start the new one in March. Because I got way behind. I didn't start those till August. So I'm way behind the 8 ball on this. The only reason I got this is because they had the free shipping. And so I took advantage of that. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have bought these. And I wanted to learn about the 24. I wanted to learn about modern players. And I thought this would help me maybe more than watching it on TV. Maybe seeing them play Strat with them will help me learn the players just as much, if not more. So that's what I decided to go with. So, again, thank you all for supporting my game and sticking around and commenting and interacting and keeping things fun and light. And hopefully I didn't make any mistakes. And hopefully you enjoyed the process of the Super Advanced 2024 season. And I'll keep it going as long as I can. Hopefully, I'm going to try going on a schedule where I play 2 games a day, 1 in the morning and 1 at night. That's the hope. But eventually I'll start playing some of these offline and just presenting the score sheets when it's all said and done. I'll pick a game or maybe 2 games from that block that I think are the most interesting and play those on live stream and kind of play the other ones offline so I can get through this thing a little bit faster. But anyway, that's the plan, but you know how plans are. So like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So I don't think I'm going to get punched in the mouth, but I mean, things can happen. Life can come up or whatever. So don't want to plan. You plan, but you're not 100% secure in your plan because you don't know about the variables that might happen otherwise in real life. But that's my goal. It's good to have goals. So that's going to do it from here. If anybody wants this score sheet, not the typed in, I can do it. I've got a blank version of this with nothing typed in. If you would like that, you can send me an email. I've already sent it to 2 people this morning. So if you want that, let me know, and I will. I'll email it to you. It's 2-sided, so you can print it off 2-sided and play 2 games on 1 piece of paper. Save some trees, save some money, whatever you want to call it. But if you want the PDF editor and want to try it out, it's called PDF Gear, Gear, PDF Gear. That's what I'm using. And so it's working for me so far. It's completely free. You don't have to give a credit card. You don't do anything. You just download it and start rolling. So that's it from here. Tabby's about ready for me to be done, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Again, Oakland wins at 5-2 to improve to 2-0. Poor Toronto drops to 0-2. They are tied for last place with Miami. So let's go do it from here. Hope you all have a wonderful Thursday. The weekend's coming up. Stay safe out there for the weekend. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.